I have decided to become a carpenter. Why have you decided to become a carpenter, you may ask? Well, there are many reasons. First of all, in a world full of distractions and lack of presence, where people just scroll on their phones and don't even live in the moment, this project has allowed me to regain some of that connection, that deep focus. And secondly, I'm trying to find a new way to live, which is more natural and harmonious with our earth. With that being said, my aim is to do this using natural materials and vintage equipment to try and be a natural carpenter. The dovetail joint is renowned for being tricky amongst carpenters, so I've had to put a lot of deep focus into this project. Getting really straight cuts is crucial to make sure that the joints come together well. So I've been refining my technique with this Japanese ryoba. I'm starting small with this project, building a little box, but my dream is to one day have the ability to build bigger structures, ones that can actually make a big difference to a human's life, such as being able to build a small little cabin. I think the skills that I'm building right now, even with small projects like this, are fundamental to those bigger projects. So I'm enjoying this process because I know that it is contributing to those bigger dreams of mine. I've observed in myself recently, while doing my woodworking projects and in life in general, that whenever I make a mistake or that something goes wrong, the frustration or my reaction actually causes a lot more real, bigger problems. It feels like there's a snowball effect of negative emotion, which then leads to actually bad things when the initial thing wasn't even that big of an issue. And so now that I've observed this in myself, I've realized that the best way philosophically to approach woodworking and other things in life is to embrace mistakes and be happy when I've made a mistake, because mistakes are a fundamental part of the journey, and they're not really problems, it's just how you look at them, because you could see them as opportunities to get one step closer to becoming a master. I love this idea of changing my perspective on mistakes, because mistakes are actually a really tangible way of measuring how hard you are trying at something. If you never fail and you never make mistakes, that actually means that you probably aren't trying to accomplish your biggest goals, because your biggest goals usually are the most challenging things, and therefore they come with a lot of mistakes. Mistakes are a great way to measure how hard you're going at your goals and your purpose. And I can say every time I make a mistake, that's another proof that I am actually putting myself in challenging positions and trying something. So back to the project for a moment. One particularly interesting discovery that I've made recently is this natural hide glue. It's been used by woodworkers for hundreds of years, particularly by instrument makers. In order to turn it from its granule form into a glue, it needs to soak in water overnight. So I'm going to leave this ready for tomorrow. By doing my carpentry projects in a natural way, I hope it could be representative for how we could do other things in other walks of life without using chemicals, without using plastics which shed microplastics. And hopefully this could begin a new range of possibilities for how to live purely. The plan is to glue the 4 sides together, and while they're drying I can start to crack on with the base and the lid. I'm still very much testing out the hide glue, so let's see. I hope it actually sticks. Another thing that I've noticed about myself recently throughout doing my carpentry projects is that limiting beliefs are real, and they seriously slow down my progress. For example, I swore to myself, I believed deeply that sharpening tools was really hard and took like months/years to learn how to do. I don't know why I believed it. I just simply thought that was the case. And so I didn't sharpen my tools before any of my projects because I just simply thought I couldn't do it. It was too hard. But in reality, then I just looked it up one day, how to sharpen a plane blade. And it said, oh yeah, this is a really simple task. You just need a honing guide, you need da-da-da-da-da, and it's easy. But I had believed for months that sharpening was a really hard thing that took months to learn. And so that belief stopped my progress and severely compromised my progress. And so what can I learn from this? Well, we need to constantly check our beliefs and challenge them. See where they come from. Like, what is the validity of that? What's the reasoning behind that belief? Because oftentimes it doesn't have any logical premise to it. And therefore, you may be stopping yourself from achieving your dream based on something that doesn't even exist. I'm really starting to believe that whether we have a good life or not on this earth is really dependent upon whether we believe in abundance or not. And by abundance I mean the kind of things that we think are scarce or impossible. What if we just thought they weren't? For example, in the past I thought that there was always limits to how much I should spend and to how much I should give to charity. But recently I've realized that that mentality actually leads to me being poorer. Now that I've started just giving freely and not feeling some kind of externally imposed limitation to how much I can give, for example, to charity, I've actually started making more money. And why does this happen? Well, it may be because if you play the game and if you believe in that idea of resources that are scarce that you need to cling on to, you almost are just a player. You're a puppet in that game. Whereas if you almost transcend the game by believing in something more profound, like compassion and love for other people, you almost just defeat the game. And therefore the game, because you're not attached or bothered about the game, you then can win the game just through your detachedness from the game. On the home stretch now, I'm going to get the base ready, and then after a few more bits of glue, we should be getting close. It seems that one more lesson has emerged from this project, and it's come via making a mistake. So I've run into a little bit of an issue with the box. Basically, as I was planing one of the sides, I heard a crack all of a sudden, and I knew something was off, something wasn't good. Basically, one of the dovetails, the glue had come loose, and so the joint had moved a bit. And so I looked up the causes of why the glue hadn't set properly, and it said if you've over diluted it with water, then it won't set properly, and it won't be a strong joint. So I decided to take apart the box and remake the glue 2-to-1 rather than I did too much water last time. And so yeah, mix the glue again. I'm going to put it back together. I've also planed some of the boards a bit more so that the joints are even, so the boards are even flatter and the joints will be even better. So yeah, it's a bit annoying, but I want to do things properly, so that's where we're at. I feel like I've spent a lot of my life with a habit of cutting corners. Pardon using the word cutting, but I've tried to rush the process. And with carpentry, you simply cannot get away with rushing the process. Otherwise, you'll just have a terrible final product. And so it's taught me to really be patient and really look for the right way to do things and not to cut any corners. Beginning woodworking has been amazing for my self-development because it mirrors exactly where I am at. If I try to cut a corner, if I try to rush, it will just show me. It will mirror exactly what I put in. So it's been a beautiful way to see things in myself, see weaknesses, and give me the opportunity to grow. And as you can see, I'm still not there yet. This box is far from perfect. It's not bad, but it's far from perfect. So I've got a long way to go. But I'm looking forward to this journey. I think it could be beautiful.